Was there sometimes tension behind the scenes on Loose Women?
Yeah.
What would happen after the cameras are off?
Not so much after the cameras were off, because then, you just forget about what you've said and you just get on with it. There was a very tense moment when it's not funny actually, but do you remember when COVID ended one day and the next day the Ukraine-Russia war started? It was literally exit stage left and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it just turned up the next day. And then suddenly no one was talking about COVID. No one was talking about the vaccines again. No one was talking about any of those things. And it was all Russia invading Ukraine. And I won't say who it was, but there was someone on the show that day. It was such a massive, massive, massive row before the show because I refused to say, actually, I'm on the side of Ukraine. I wasn't on anybody's side.
Yeah.
I wanted to look into what had happened, historically, and what might be the reason for this. And it turned out there were a lot of reasons, really, as to why you could explain why that happened.
Yeah.
But it was the intolerance. It's the intolerance again. It's like the left are always preaching kindness and tolerance, and they're the most intolerant people. It's like, what? I can't believe you're not, going. You don't support Ukraine, and it's like, well, you can't believe it, but that's the way it is.
Why can't you say who it was?
Why
can't you say who that was? Does it matter?
Not really, because
you killed him.
No, because me and her have always fought.
Yeah,
but we're really good friends. Literally, really.
You can say who that was then.
Oh, it was Kay Adams then.
Okay,
Kay Adams, yeah.
And she needed you to be pro-Ukraine.
Yeah, she needed me to believe that Putin was insane and mad, and he was going to take over the world. And when you think about it, the world is still trying to make Putin the enemy when I don't believe that Putin is the enemy.
See, I think he might be mad and he might be wanting to take over the world, but I think so, but I don't know. I'm first to admit I don't really know enough about that, and that I'm really interested to hear other perspectives. I just don't understand this, like, oh, you have to have the same flag as me, or I'm angry and I judge you. It's like, okay, I would sit, and I've sat down with some people who have said they were really pro-Russia in this, and this is why Russia did it, and I've gone, And the interesting thing is, I hadn't heard those perspectives anywhere in the mainstream media, anywhere that Russia would have had any reason apart from just we're maniacs. So we're here. And humans don't work that way. And it's the same with the way people talk about Israel and Palestine. Everyone's got to pick a flag and say, like, this is so simple. And
exactly.
Geopolitics rarely is. And most of us can't even begin to understand it.
No, that's exactly right. And that's exactly how I felt at the time. And when I did look into the, what happened in 2014 in Crimea and the Nazis in Ukraine, which what's his name? The bald guy who used to be on EastEnders.
Bloody hell, Mitchell, Phil Mitchell, and Ross Kemp.
Ross Kemp. Yeah, Ross Kemp did a documentary about it. But when he came on Loose Women, when the Ukraine war was happening, he was suddenly kind of forgotten about the Nazis.
Oh.
He'd forgotten about the Ukrainian Nazis, and he just was talking about how dreadful it was in the Donbass and places like that. It was weird. It all kind of changed.
Well, there's an interesting Ross Kemp clip from years ago when he was it's a different topic, but he was in the Middle East and he was talking to these men about why it's bad to, and I try not to use a word too often on YouTube, but to sort of violate women, to do things to women, sexual crimes and things. And it's this very strange video. You should watch it if you haven't seen it, where he's trying to explain to them, but that's bad, isn't it, to do that to women? And they're like, yes, you could get caught. And he's like, no, not because you could get caught, but because, and they, no matter how many times he said it, they kept going, I know my parents would be upset with me. So no, it's bad for the woman. And they couldn't grasp it.
Well, tell me what that is later.
If you look up Ross Kemp talking to women on Google or something, you'll find that, or, about that R word or whatever.
Yeah.
And it really should be used by people now as an example of, well, that's how different cultures treat women and how they think of women. That should be prime topic for Loose Women, for example.
Absolutely, it should. Yeah.
But Ross Kemp, I've never heard him talk about anything like that again.
No.
He should be the first person standing up and saying, listen, we've let in about 1.2 million people last year from those regions who have those beliefs.
Yeah.
Is anyone worried about this? I'm a documentary maker, Ross Kemp, I've gone and seen this firsthand. Nothing. So everyone's just scared to say, or they just lose their beliefs. I don't know what happens.
I don't know. It's like they choose what they believe in, and it often doesn't match with their other beliefs. Like, like I said, the feminists got their knickers in a twist about those things as well. It's like, refugees welcome and all of that, but let's bring in all those refugees who actually believe that women are inferior and should be covered up and should, be stoned to death if they get raped. That kind of thing. I mean, it's like, but you don't say anything about that. It's all such a mess.
Yeah, and it's just mad. And that's why I ask you, and why I wanted to speak to you. I mean, you've been front and center on that screen. You've been with those people, and you've seen how hard it is for anybody in the mainstream. We just saw it with Rylan the other week, of course, to actually speak up and say what most human beings who watch the show think.
Yeah. No, I know. I felt really sorry for Rylan, actually. I mean, he's all right. He's got loads of other work, but that's how bad it is. If you speak up about something and you try to reflect what the rest of the country thinks. But ITV and BBC, I'd say Channel 4 probably even worse, they just don't know their audience. And no, actually ITV would be worse because ITV has an audience that is not quite Channel 4, if you know what I mean.
It's not as woke and young. Or whatever.
No, exactly. And not quite not so London-centric. And ITV is, it's kind of famous for this sort of, the working classes watching ITV because the program's kind of reflected that.
Yeah.
But ITV still do not know their audience. And especially when it comes to, the news and the breakfast shows and This Morning and Loose Women, especially daytime shows, I suppose.
Yeah, and Big Brother.
Yeah, and Big Brother. They don't know who's really watching. And then they go, oh, I wonder why no one's watching.
Yeah, they're all watching YouTube now.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
One of the things I like about you is not just those kinds of political issues, is you'll have a different opinion and it would just make me go, pause for thought and go, oh, and I might agree, I might not agree, but it's great. Like, oh, I didn't even think about that. One of them is, should we give up seats on trains for pregnant women?
Oh, I got in a lot of trouble for that.
I think everyone in the country would say yes,
of course
except for the one person sitting opposite me on the table. What do you think about that?
Oh, well, no, and I still think that. I just think, look, you're pregnant. You got yourself pregnant. It's not my fault. I deserve this seat just as much as you do.
Yeah.
And it's,
Have you got kids?
No.
Yeah, okay.
No,
There's an
I
ideological thing then, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people that, look, I didn't have kids. I'm not, polluting the world with my kids' farts everywhere. You got up the duff.
Well,
stand up.
No, I just think pregnant women are not sick and they're not disabled.
Can I ask you a favor? Please subscribe. 90% of you are not subscribed, so if you sub, it will help the channel and I'll keep making these clips.